Boris Johnson has missed a golden opportunity to transform post-Brexit farming from being a leading cause of declines in UK wildlife to playing a central role in nature's recovery. In spite of multiple promises to protect the environment and farmers' livelihoods by the government, the wildlife trusts, National Trust and RSPB are deeply concerned that the Tory party is failing to come up with an ambitious scheme, undermining their ability to boost nature-friendly farming. They believe that promises made by the government in its 25-year environment plan are now in jeopardy. Craig Bennett, chief executive of the Wildlife Trusts, said, "After leaving the EU, we were promised that the billions of pounds of taxpayers' money given to farmers would be used to improve our natural world. Today the government published details of its eagerly awaited scheme to pay farmers for managing land more sustainably, restoring nature and tackling climate change. It comes on the first anniversary of the Agriculture Act. It is a significant moment revealing the extent of the government's ambition to improve the 70% of our land that is farmed since Brexit and our departure from the EU's common agricultural policy." Speaking of the publication, Mr. Bennett said, "Today's publication shows a shocking lack of ambition which does very little to address the climate and nature crises." He added, "The government seems intent on perpetuating the iniquities of the EU's much-derided common agricultural policy. Worse still, nature-friendly farmers look set to lose out too." Angry at the government missing the opportunity, Mr. Bennett said, "It's an absolute scandal that the government has failed to seize this unique and important opportunity to improve farming so it can help restore nature and address the climate crisis." Adding to the argument, the chief executive of the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, Becky Spate, said, "Leaving the EU and its divisive common agricultural policy gave us the perfect opportunity to reform the way we produce and consume food whilst also tackling the nature and climate crises." She added, "However, this government is letting this opportunity slip through their fingers by not supporting nature-friendly farming and not delivering on previous promises." She continued, "Not only does this go against public wishes but it also undermines the government's ability to deliver their own environmental targets as a result. Farmers want to be doing more but they need incentives in place to help them." The National Trust also took the opportunity to raise concern at the lack of government action. Hilary McGrady, Director General of the National Trust, said, "Nearly 4 years has passed since the government set out its vision for the future of food, farming and the environment in a green Brexit, centre stage being the delivery of a better and richer environment in England." She continued, "But the future of wildlife and climate now looks uncertain as today's announcement falls short of the ambitious reforms promised. Farmers need a clear path to a future where nature is at the heart of sustainable and secure food production, not the short diversion this new scheme creates." The UK has stated its ambition to be a world leader on climate and nature, but it cannot tackle these twin crises without wholesale reform of farming policy. According to the joint press release by the bodies, The announcement falls far short of the Secretary of State's statement at COP26 that the government is leading the way through our new agricultural system in England, which will incentivize farmers to farm more sustainably, create space for nature on their land and reduce carbon emissions. Wildlife losses over recent decades have been largely caused by modern agricultural policy and farming methods which have contributed to the disappearance of 97% of lowland meadows that support wildflowers, insects, mammals, and birds, and 80% of purple heathlands which are home to bilberries, sand lizards and curlew. Rivers are in deep trouble too. In England, only 14% of rivers meet standards for good ecological status. Much of this is due to agricultural pollution, causing 13% of freshwater and wetland species to be threatened with extinction. Butterflies and moths have been particularly hard hit, with numbers down by 17% and 25% respectively. Mammals also fare badly, with more than 26% of species at risk of disappearing altogether. In spite of the disappointing news, a spokesperson for the wildlife trusts said, "Although the government have yet to react to the concerns we have, it's not too late for them to amend the situation and protect Britain's wildlife, a task that goes hand in hand with protecting the environment."